Donald Trump had the big Axios interview where they talked about the fact that deaths were going up, hospitalizations were going up, the pandemic is bad once again like it was several months ago, but that has not led him to question his decision to push for as much school reopening and in-person attendance as possible, perhaps because that decision has been founded on some truly bizarre and extreme ideas of kids and coronavirus.
My view is the school should open. This thing's going away. It will go away like things go away. And my view is that schools should be open. If you look at children, children are almost, and I would almost say definitely, but almost immune from this disease. So few. They've got stronger, hard to believe, I don't know how you feel about it, but they have much stronger immune systems than we do somehow for this. And they do it, they don't have a problem. They just don't have a problem. We did the right thing. We closed it down, but now we're opening up. And now we understand the disease. We understand that the elderly, especially the elderly with a problem, with diabetes or heart, if they have a problem, they're very, very vulnerable, very, very susceptible to this disease. And we have to be very, very careful and vigilant with them, and we are.
Well, on that note, what about the elderly teachers or the teachers that are susceptible or have underlying conditions? Are you worried at all? Is that a concern that maybe one of the moms or dads who drops their child off might have COVID and not know it, pass it on to one of these teachers?
I think the teachers are a different story, and if a teacher's in a certain age group, I think they shouldn't be going in, and probably they're going to have to wait till the thing goes by. They'll have to wait. It will go by. By the way,
there's again a few things there. Now I know you have a kid. This impacts you more directly than me. What do you think?
It's probably one of the few reasons why some conservatives that usually support him would even ask a question like what Ainsley asked him. So, since 7-year-olds don't teach second grade classes, what about the adults in the room? And so, by the way, his answer required even more follow-ups, which was, so if the vulnerable teachers leave, which how many vulnerable teachers are there, Mr. President? What age range does that start? What if it's a 40-year-old that has some kind of underlying problems? All those things. So when they do leave, then who steps in and for how long? How long before this blows over, like you just said? Does it take a week? Is it a sick day like you're describing it to be? None of this makes any sense. So, or you could say, hey, Mr. President, or did you not think this answer through? How much have you put into this thought process? Nothing, apparently, because when a teacher leaves, who's replacing them? And for how long? And why would they? Do you think after a teacher leaves because maybe they're worried about getting sick, some kid in the class has it confirmed, then are you going to be the teacher that goes, hey, I'll go in that classroom, hey, pick me to pay me a couple of dollars an hour to do this? No, that's not what's going to happen. It's absolutely not what's going to happen. That question needs to be asked next. One more thing, John, before I let you go ahead and talk. This morning, this elementary school in Cherokee County School District began in-person classes on Monday. That would be 2 days ago. By Tuesday, which is 1 day ago, the classroom was temporarily closed for deep cleaning, and for the teacher and 20 other students had to be asked to quarantine. You know why? Because after that first day of school, a second grader tested positive for COVID-19 because they're I'm going to almost say completely immune to it. Okay. Why isn't your kid going to school then? You're 14-year-old.
Exactly. Yeah. No, just like you, instantly when he said, because he's like, they're immune, which isn't true. They're not immune and they can spread it, which we'll get to the numbers in just a second. But then he's like, but, we do have to be worried about the elderly. And then she asks, a good follow-up question. So what about all the elderly people that are at schools with the kids? And I instantly thought, well, that's interesting. Yeah, what are the percentages anyway? And so I looked it up and found some information. It's from 2011, 2012. It's the most recent information I was able to find in about a minute. And interestingly, 3 out of 4 public school teachers, female. Doesn't affect this necessarily, but that is interesting. Percent that are 55 or older, 18.8%. Percent that are 50 to 54 is 12%. So that's already, we're at 30% are 50 or older. You know the percent that are less than 30, the super good immune systems? 15% of teachers. The median age is 41. Now this data is 9 years old. I can't say, but in the last 9 years, do you think that teachers have gotten younger on average? I don't know why they would. This is a terrible, terrible, terrible decision, not only for the elderly people that are going to be there, but also for the families. Because here's the thing. As we have mentioned on the show previously, those who are below 10, the most recent studies indicate they are half as likely to share COVID as an adult. Half as likely. Not 2% as likely. That still seems really likely. You should be half as scared, and the teacher is going to be surrounded by 20 to 40 of these kids. How many does it take? And that's for people who are less than 10. For kids in middle and high school, these are not old people. Middle and high school, they're more likely than adults to spread the virus, according to studies. And so every bit of what he said was wrong.
I want you guys to remember your high school experience, your middle school experience. Lockers, switching classes every hour, going from your math class over to science. You're crossing a lot of people in a crowded hallway and doing a lot of talking within this 3 to 4 minute span you have to get from one class to the next. Do you think that is a nice environment for something like this? Or because by the way, they're saying he and Betsy DeVos, schools need to completely and utterly reopen fully is what they said. They were complaining about things where there were staggered schedules, where there was kids coming at certain times and different days and half days and certain things like that. They were against all those things. So anyone that's ever been in high school, remember your experience there, or people that are in high school now. Does that seem like a place where you can just roll through and just not have any kind of interactions or exchange of airspace with anyone else? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then so when you continue to say it over and over and over and over again, people look up and go, this doesn't make any sense because reality, my own reality tells me this is BS. I don't get it. I honestly, because of that, none of this is sticking. None of it. Because teachers were also, they're saying, I'm risking my life here. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to deep clean. Teachers have to deep clean their own classrooms between, even if they had these staggered schedules, in between kids coming back and forth. How? Who trusts them? Or do you trust Miss Harris to clean the class correctly before your kid comes in there?
Yeah.
She doesn't know what she's doing.
100%. By the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. She has to have her gun under her desk in case some school shooter comes in too. The things we're putting on teachers do instead of teach in the middle of all this is astronomical. Oh, and if a teacher says, hey, how about you guys pay me more than $35,000 a year? They'll go, look at this lazy teacher who wants to go ahead and demand all this money from us. We don't have any money from this. We're only the richest country in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, we expect you to take down terrorists, survive in a high disease environment, and do all of it without requiring any money or resources of any kind. And so, by the way, if it is 30 or 40% of the teachers that are old enough that, according to his logic, they should stay home, they will need to be replaced. Is he providing resources for that? Is he suggesting that there should be resources for that? Of course not.
What happens when they go home? What happens when they go home?
Yeah. By the way, I just saw a study. So what the researchers did was they checked the keyboards of multiple professions and on average and took a look at how much bacteria there was or germs there were on all these different professions' keyboards. The teachers, do you know how theirs compared to the average amount? 27 times as many germs.
And we
it's
know
a disaster.
That.
And I shouldn't be laughing, but it's like a defense mechanism. This is murder, effectively.
Yep. We already know this. When it comes to any other normal colds, flus, whatever symptoms people get from school, we know, we've always said it many times, schools especially, with younger children that aren't as hygienic as people get older, they're petri dishes for sickness.
Yeah,
even just the ones that we're used to. It happens. Every teacher I've ever known has told me this, and they know. I mean, you don't have to tell me that to know it. We've all been in school too. It's what happens there. So if it's something this severe, what makes you think they're going to be comfortable doing this? Oh, and they got to think about how to get through this geometry lesson. Come on, man.
Exactly. Yeah, and be watching for shooters too. Keep one hand on your gap. Anyway, yeah, just absolutely devastating. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.